and take hits on them. So kind of a cool little play there. If that was purposeful, that's pretty sweet. If not, well, then we accidentally got a good play off. And looking at the 6 o'clock position, a Bioforce with the size vessel is moving into that position, but for Zero, we've got a creep colony going down, a couple of lurkers, the second creep colony going down, so he should be easily able to defend this. Yes, he is. And this is why SK Terran really needs that combination of Marines, medics, tanks, and science vessels to deal with everything that a Zerg can really throw at them. Otherwise, just a bunch of sunken colonies can really stop a biological force pretty effectively, and no matter how big a biological force gets, a large number of sunken colonies can hold it off for quite a while. And I think we saw that in Nada versus Savior in like the Heritage League, if I remember right. One or two of those games, Savior just threw down a ton of sunken colonies, and Nada unfortunately wasn't able to really build up any sort of Psi vessel forces, or tank forces, because Mutalisk just kept picking them off, so he wasn't really able to press his advantage, or press it really at all, and ever really able to take down any of the bases for Savior, and Savior won that way. So yeah, that's kind of the importance of having these siege tanks, and why SK Terran produces them so heavily, or so necessarily. And yeah, it looks like Light is just going to try and push out of his base a little bit here. Is going to be able to get Zero away in terms of opening some space, some breathing room for himself, and he's going to have a little bit of a chance here to attack out. We also see a couple vultures being produced, oddly enough. Probably just going to throw down some mines, see if he can catch some of Zerg forces. Mines can do a ton of damage to Zerg forces. And here we go, seeing an engagement in the middle. We got a lot of lurkers and some Zerglings as well, but a lot of Marines and a couple siege tanks, including one that's D-Matrix. The D-Matrix siege tank is going to go down. The other siege tank looks like it's going to go down as well. So both siege tanks go down, but the Bioforces are alive, and the Bioforces are moving right towards Zero's base. But Zero's got a couple more lurkers there. He's got a sunken colony, and he's also got some Zerglings there, so he should be fine. And now the lurkers coming in might actually be able to catch a lot of these Marines, and the Marines stimming and trying to run away, just in full retreat right now. Absolutely just terrifyingly running away. Some mines going off here, gonna take down a lot of these Zerglings, but they actually could take out a lot of these Marines too, and boom! Oh my god, all the Marines go down. Every single Marine went down in that force, Light taking a huge hit there, and all it cost Zero was a bunch of Zerglings, so a great trade for Zero right now, and that's really gonna stop Light from being able to push out for quite some time now. You can look at Light's forces, you can see just the lack of bio forces, and that's just not nearly enough to really push out at all. He is trying to push out here, but it's really not enough. See, Defiler's out on the field already. Defiler Mound has been completed a while ago, and it looks like it completed Consume as well. And it looks like Zero's also taking 2 more bases, so at the bottom left. So this could be a really strong Zerg economy shortly enough. And that Defiler's taking shots. Okay, good job. It threw down the swarm there and protected itself. And then a great mine going off, taking down a couple of lurkers as well as that Defiler. So that's pretty huge. But it did throw down a swarm before it finished its life, before it passed away. And those lurkers could rise and go into that second swarm and maybe do some damage to the command center there. It doesn't look like he's really focusing on that, but it looks like he's focusing more on the defense of his natural expansion, where Light is pushing in here, and there's only one sunken colony along with maybe a lurker, no lurkers, and some Hydralisks that are turning into lurkers. But these Bioforces are actually going to be able to do a lot of damage, not a whole lot there for Zero. Zero really needs a Defiler to come out to really defend against us. And now we see that Nidus Canal popping out and tons of forces coming in. And here comes a Defiler. Defiler throwing down a swarm on the ramp. It's going to stop this biological force completely. And if another swarm comes in, it's completely over. These forces are not going to do anything. Yeah, the Firebats are all that's left. Maybe one Firebat, not even a Firebat. But that attack is being completely thwarted here. Did a little bit of damage, but not really that much. Did not take out any drones. Did not take any attack of any sort, really. And overall, not a very effective attack. And now we see the siege tank being sieged, and it's going to take some of these lurkers, able to push them back again. But Light is still being contained into his base, still only on 2 base, and not a great lurker split coming in here for Light. Light losing a ton of Marines and unable to kill any of the lurkers. Not a very good lurker split there at all by Light. He didn't even need to do too much there in terms of a lurker split. All 3 of those lurkers are near dead right now. But it looks like he wasn't really able to do that correctly and follow the tradition of Boxer in terms of his lurker splits. And Crackling has been upgraded. And I have to say that I haven't seen a ton of lurkers out on the field. Usually off of 3-4 gas, and you see this kind of a Zerg economy. You start seeing a lot of lurkers out on the field, a lot of lurkerling, and a lot more Defilers. There are some Defilers for sure. One of those science vessels goes down, which is huge, but it did get the Defiler before it died. But certainly, once again, it's going to thwart Light pushing out once again. I almost kind of think that Zero might be saving some of his gas. It just doesn't seem like he has as many gas units as he could if he wanted to. We do see another extractor going down, probably another one at the 6 o'clock main, 7 o'clock position or so. So I could see this easily transitioning possibly into an Ultralist build, as he's been able to pretty economically thwart Light so far in terms of holding off his advances. And again, here comes Light trying to push out again. His lurker split's much better this time. Did not lose maybe 1 or 2 Marines, but did not lose nearly as much, and doing a pretty good job there. And now we see Zero is still just mass producing a lot of stuff. And there is the Ultralist Cavern. So yeah, he is going to be going Ultralist here. And Light is pushing out with a lot of biological forces, going to try and push again on Zero, but we'll see if he has more success this time. He has a couple science vessels this time, and it doesn't look like Zero's really defending that 6 o'clock position, but he does have a Nidus Canal, so it's kind of always defended. And now here comes the force from Light, going to engage Zero, and Zero throwing down a swarm here, and that's going to be enough to stop the attack once again. And this is the problem against a quick tech defiler by Zero, is that this is something he can do over and over again. Just keep throwing down swarms everywhere, and it just completely stops the attacks, the advances from Light. And he really needs more science vessels to really stop this. Need to be able to radiate Defiler on a more consistent basis. It needs to be able to radiate lurkers, and very shortly he's going to really need to irradiate Ultras. If those Ultras don't get irradiated, they will just wreak havoc upon a biological army, and there's just nothing that Terran can really do. Those things just have way too much life, way too much power. A couple lurkers being caught out in the open and taken down by this Bioforce again. Some Zergling coming in here, try and come in here and try and take down some of these Marines and things. Only able to take down a few Marines, losing a lot of Zerglings there, Zero was. And it looks like Zero's actually going to go for the bottom right main as well. Going to try and take as many bases as possible. But oh wait, Light's already there. Poor Zero. Not going to be able to take that at all. But he is going to be able to take the 530 position as well. And it doesn't look like Light's really doing too much to stop them. He is pushing out with these Bioforce and a couple science vessels, but there are 3 sunken colonies there. There's a Nidus Canal that should be able to reinforce very quickly. And once again, we're seeing this again, that without siege tanks, what is he supposed to do against lurker and sunken colonies? There's just very little that he can really do. Light. And Light's just in a terrible spot right now. And now we're seeing a Marine drop coming in here, going to try and pick off this Ultralist Cavern. I think they might be successful. We see a bunch of Ultras coming in trying to save it, but they do take it down. So I'm sure Zero produced as many Ultras as he could at that moment. I don't know if he has any more than those 4, and he is throwing down another Ultralist Cavern. But he's got to have just a ton of gas right now. So I am absolutely certain that he'll be able to just mass produce Ultras quite shortly, and that dropship is going to get picked off by Scourge. And Light really needs to do something. He needs to produce a lot more mechanized forces or a lot more science vessels to really deal with Ultras. He just needs a lot more stuff. He does not have the forces on the ground to really deal with this effectively. Trying to get a little Vulture run by, but a well-positioned Sunken Colony able to take it down. 530 base is finally up for Zero as well. But I don't even know if he's going to waste the Psi on drones to even populate it, rather than... Because he just has so many drones already operating off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases that he probably doesn't even want to produce anymore. It does look like Light is taking the base at the 1130. We'll see how long Zero allows him to hold on to it before he pushes on it. You do see Ultra, Ling, Lurker, Defiler coming out here. Some mines taking out some of these forces, but the Ultras, the uber powerful, huge HP armor defense Ultras, are marching in. Actually, they might only have 1 defense here, but a great Plague going off and catching a lot of those science vessels. And now there are some mines, so they might actually be able to do some damage to these Ultras, might be able to take them down. And no, unable to take down any of them. A lot of them are damaged, but unable to take any of them down. And now these Ultras are just parading through Light's base, going straight to his siege tank. Going to take down that siege tank. At the same time, Cracklings are going to the 1130 base, stopping that base from mining as well. So now Light once again is not really mining off of too many bases. His main is not mined out, his 1130 is not mining, and the 12 o'clock position is not going to be mining for too much longer. There's a ton of Zerglings streaming in, and it looks like Light is trying to push out the 6 o'clock position again, but there's a couple Ultras and a Defiler again. Great Plague going off, taking off a lot of those Marines again, so that force is pretty much useless right now. And some Scourge came in, picked off another Science Vessel or so, and Light looks like he's pretty much done. There's GG! Looks like Psionic Reaver was correct, picking Zero to win this match, and the Ho goes down 0-1 for the weekly face-off. Zero's going to take this win for Woongjin Stars. I was intentionally not paying attention to the set series, so I don't know who was up 2-1, so I don't know if Woongjin Stars just won or if this is tied 2-2 and we'll go to an ace match. But that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Zero played very, very well with those quick tech to hive. Really benefited him hugely. Those Defilers were just worth their weight in gold. But yeah, we got a big win for Zero, which I am very happy to see, and I will see you next time. I think I'm going to be doing Ghosty Flying versus Great. That was another match that was suggested to me, so look out for that coming up very shortly.